Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. Welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. My name is Gina Pike. I'm so very happy that you're here with me today. Today we're going to be doing a project update. I am talking about the Miss May MKAL. This is a mystery shawl knit along being hosted by Curious Handmade, who is Helen Stewart. If you've been following me, I know that I've been participating in this. We're on Clue 4. This will be a Clue 4 update, a spoiler video. There are 5 clues in this mystery shawl knit along. What is a clue? What happens is the designer will break the pattern apart into 5 different pieces, and each week you get a new clue, which is just a portion of the pattern to knit. This is a mystery. We don't know what it looks like until we get to the end, there are a lot of people that are working on this right now in Ravelry. That's the fun part of a mystery shawl knit along, is the camaraderie that you get from working with people who are knitting something with other people that are knitting the same thing you are all over the world, and they pick different colors than you, put together things a little bit differently than you, and that's the fun of seeing one pattern in different yarns. This shawl, she suggested 4 colors. It's a 4-color shawl, so you needed 4 skeins of fingering weight yarn. But in this is in a color block sequence. These are based on the designs of William Morris and May Morris, who were pioneers in the arts and crafts movement. So this is to celebrate May Morris. That's who the shawl is named after her. And we've been learning as we go along how instrumental she was in this movement, in giving a voice to women. At the time, a lot of these crafting guilds were all men, and women were not really included. And she became a leader of a division at her father's company, Morris and Company, who did all these wallpapers and prints and fabrics, and she headed up the embroidery division and just started giving women a voice in the arts and crafts movement and in the arts and crafts guild, which is really, great in the early 1900s. So, we're to Clue 4. If you want to, okay, this is what I am doing. Helen is hosting the shawl make-along. I'm doing a side make-along. People who want to knit this along with me can. And I have about 40 people here and on the Knitting Turnpike that are knitting this along with me. And I'm kind of mirroring what Helen is doing. She's going to be having a giveaway at the very end of the whole thing. I'm going to do the same thing for the people who are participating with me and that are allowing me to share their projects here on the Knitting Turnpike. So what's going to happen is today I'm going to show you my Clue 4. I'm going to talk about Clue 5. Clue 5 is the last clue. I'm not going to show you any Clue 5s because that's for the final slideshow. But what will happen is that this runs along until the end of August. August the 27th is when I'm going to have my live show that will showcase all the finished shawls that I have from all of you guys that are participating with me. But until that time point, since we are on Clue 4, the last one is Clue 5, I will probably be doing these updates every couple of weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks. And that will just include all of the people that are knitting this along with me. And there might be people who just want to jump in and start now. I was doing my calculator and setting up that final show. There are still 50 days until that live show where we finish it all up. There's plenty of time to knit another shawl or to get started. If you haven't even started yet and you've been thinking about it, please jump in and knit along with us. I have videos linked down in the description box below that talk about getting started, and then there's another video about how to pick your colors. There's a stitch tutorial that shows you how to do all the stitches in this shawl and even shows you how to do the I-cord cast on that you have to do for this shawl, and helps you get started. Then there's all the clue updates. There's a clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, and today is clue 4. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the Miss May clue 4. The fourth clue echoes the botanical inspiration of the last one, but these fancy leaves are larger and bolder, a striking statement as we reach the home stretch of the shawl. So there's 5 clues on this shawl. This is what clue 4 ended up looking like. Give me 1 second. I have grass on my shawl from putting it in the grass to take a picture of it. Okay, this is the end of clue 4. And as you can see, okay, clue 3 ended here with this lacy leaves and these strong veins and with this yellow. So clue 4 starts here. You can see bolder, larger leaves. They're still lining up. See how this line here lines up? This section goes from here to here with that line. This leaf lines up with that. She's a nice, beautiful garter stitch section that outlines the leaves. It's just a really beautiful, nice design, and it brings back in the color 2 from up here. It's a light gray green for me, a Vichy Soie from Amanda Hope Yarns. But you can see it's not a lot of rows. I believe it's 23 rows. Again, these rows are very long, so that's why the clues are shorter this way, because they're longer this way. But you can just see it's repeating that basic large leaf motif, and it's still all lining up, bringing in that texture and those beautiful lines that we've had all the way throughout this shawl. And again, this is what it is looking like. Isn't that beautiful? The color blocking looks great. The texture looks great on this. So I'm sure we have clue 5 next week. That's the last clue. And I'm sure we're going to be bringing in that color 1 to finish it up. Like she said, we would finish it with color 1. And that's where we are with color 4 and Miss May. I love it. I hope you guys are too. Again, just a tip. I don't have a lot of tips. I will say this. When you start clue 4, you're going to be moving your stitch markers again. When we ended with clue 3, there were 10 stitches per repeat section. These shift, and we end up with like 20 stitches per repeat, and so we have a longer the repeat section doubles in stitches. So just something to be aware of. So you will be shifting your markers as you go along, and when you finish this section, you will be at 80% done. So and I believe we will be finished with colors 2, 3, and 4, and again all we'll have left is the color 1. But that's it, and you can see how big it's getting, and this is unblocked, so it's going to be really nice shawl, nice size shawl to wrap around you with it when it is blocked, because it's already reaching around. So it's very nice. I hope that was helpful. Now for clue 5, I'm just, instead of we're not going to show any clue 5s until the end, but I do want to give you a little bit of a tip for clue 5. Clue 5 is just kind of finishing it up. You do bring in this is 20 rows, and the last clue is really the simplest of all of the clues. It's a deep border of twisted rib stitch to finish it up, and it's back in that color 1, which we haven't used since the very beginning. And it's just a very simple edging. One of the things that there's not even any charts in this clue, which I'm kind of sad about, but basically you did the 20 rows, finish it up, and then you'll have a bind off, which is the super stretchy bind off. She tells you how to do the super stretchy bind off. Now I've done a couple of videos for the super stretchy bind off myself here on my channel. I think it was one of the first videos I did on my channel. Then I came back and did a part 2. I'll link those down below, and I'll try to link them up above as well. if you want to watch those for more information. I do have a video clip, a very simple video clip that shows how to do the super stretchy bind off that is specifically mentioned in this pattern. Alright, I want to show you guys a tip for doing the super stretchy bind off. I have a couple of videos that show this, but if you do it just like she says, all you're going to do is when you get to that bind off row, you're going to knit the first stitch. Here, let me get out a little bit. I'm a little bit too close. You're going to knit the first stitch, knit the second stitch, and ignore the other stitches on my needle. You'll just have the one stitch, and now you'll have the second stitch. You only have these two stitches on your needle. These others are just the extra. So then it says to take them back to your left hand needle, knit them together through the back loop. And it looks like that. And that is going to give you a super stretchy bind off. Now what I like to do is I just like to do it all through the back loop. Instead of doing the first stitch, I just knitwise. The next stitch you just knit, and then you take those two stitches and knit them together through the back loop. I don't even transfer it back to my left hand needle. I just put my left hand needle through the front part of the stitches and just knit them together through the back loop like that. But watch my videos. You can see how it starts binding them off. Do the next stitch. Knit those two stitches together through the back loop. And keep on going until you're finished. And you'll have this beautiful stretchy bind off that you can use to block your shawls. I hope that was helpful. There are several ways to do a super stretchy bind off. You can do it in pattern, which just means if you have like a knit purl stitch, you could do a knit stitch, then do the knit two together through the back loop, then do the next stitch and knit two together through the back loop. It's the knitting two together through the back loop that causes it to be super stretchy. Now, if you do not like this, if you do not like the look of this bind off, there are other things you could do. You maybe could even do, I don't have a tutorial for this, but I am thinking about doing one, maybe a different type of a bind off, like an Icelandic bind off, something that'd be nice and clean and crisp, and just make that edge finish up nicely. The other thing I want to mention is since this is the last clue, you will need to block it. I do have a blocking tutorial that I did when Linda Simpson and I did the Simpson Turnpike knit along last year. I will link that down below. If you've never blocked a shawl before, it really opens up the lace on this, and it really needs to be blocked. Now, if you have a yarn that has some acrylic in it, it is a little bit harder to block than other fibers, but you can maybe steam it lightly. I do not show that in my blocking tutorial, but if you have questions about that, I know there are a ton of videos online about how to do that, and you can ask me, and maybe I can direct you to some that maybe will be helpful for you. One of the other things I wanted to say is since I've been doing this shawl, I've been, and doing my 4-color shawl, I've been seeing a lot of people doing 1-color shawl, gradient shawls with gradients, and so I decided to start a second shawl, and see, that should give you an idea. There's still plenty of time to get started. I just started this the other day, and this is my clue 1. It's in 1 color. You can see what it looks like. Oh goodness, I'm having a hard time holding this. I guess I'm gonna have to hold it upside down. Here's my clue 1, and I have a still picture of this as well. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkle. This yarn is Hobie Twister Glitter yarn. It's a cotton acrylic blend, and it has glitter in it. The color that I'm using is color number 41, which is Cabaret. It looks like this. It started with the light blue in the center. You can see it's going to go to some teals, darker teals with the pinks, and finishing the edging with the pinks. So I'm excited about using this yarn and getting into some other colors. Again, this is just my clue 1. I'm going to probably try to do a clue a week. until we get to the end of this, but that's what that looks like with a cotton acrylic blend yarn. And I put them side by side like with my other shawl to see if they're the same size, and they are. I am using a smaller size needle for this one. I'm using a US 5 for this one because my other shawl it's just a little bit looser than I like. I'm a very loose knitter, so I did use a US 6 on the full color shawl, but this one I'm using a US 5. You can see what it looks like. And this is clue 1 of my second shawl. Okay, so now we're to the point where we're going to be taking a look at everybody's amazing work. And we're going to take a look at all of the updates I have so far through clue 4 of this shawl. And I do have quite a few. I extended the time period a little bit longer than a week so that gives some people some more time to get these in. And I do have a beautiful arrangement of shawls here to share with you guys today. And I'm going to be looking at my notes, trying to make sure I get the yarns right with the names. So please forgive me for looking down. I want to make sure I get all this done correctly. All right. The first person I have to share with us, and again, these kind of go just in alphabetical order. That's only really kind of how my computer arranges it. So there's really no rhyme or reason to how these are ordered at all. But the first person to share with us is Barb Turcotte. She is from Naughty Yarnies. Barb has actually finished her shawl, but this is her clue 4, and she's using a beautiful green Filatura di Crassa Gioiello yarn, and it's really, really pretty. A single color. Well, it's a little variegated, but it's really a lace and just letting that pattern shine beautifully. Thank you, Barb, for sending that in to us and sharing with us and knitting this along with us. Alright, the next person to share with us is Crocheting and Knitting Addiction with Shari, who is Shari Montgomery. She is sharing her shawl here. This is clue 1. This is through row 66, and you can actually see also as well, she's got some lifelines going. Shari's a newer knitter, and she's doing a great job. She's using her lifelines, which is a great practice to have when you're starting out doing lace. I just love the colors that you're using here. I mean, they got the peachy tan and the teals and the orange. She's just looking beautiful. So you're doing a great job, Shari. Thank you for sending that in and sharing with us, and it looks beautiful. The next person to share with us is Debbie Perea. This is her clue 3. Debbie is using Yarn Bee Color Idyllic Orangeology yarn. This is her clue 3, and it's just looking magnificent. I mean, look at that burst of orange. It's so pretty, and her favorite color is orange. So I have a feeling this shawl will be for her, which is awesome. The next person to share with us is Dimitra Tzamtzis. This is her clue 3 and her clue 4. She has been using a really beautiful Advent set from Yorick Oki, who is out of the British Columbia in Canada. And it's a 12 mini skeins Advent and a full skein, and I love how her colors are really blending together. And just really nicely fading into each other. So it's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Dimitra, for sharing that with us. It's gorgeous. The next person to share with us is Donna Holmes. Donna, this is her clue 3 and clue 4. I know Donna told me that she had to redo her clue 3, that the yarn she had been using was she was using some yarns that were recycled or left over from some other projects, and the yarn that she was using for clue 3 was having some issues, so she had to undo it. But here she is, she's already caught up again. Now she's got clue 3, clue 4. Look how beautiful it is. She's got some greens and blue greens and some pinks in there. It's looking really, really pretty, and has really nice stitch definition too. So thank you for sharing that. It looks gorgeous. The next person to share with us is Evelina Lindstrom. Now, Evelina is sharing her clue 4 here with us. She's using an alpaca silk blended yarn in a light green. It's really, really pretty. You can see it has a really nice stitch definition as well. And this is her clue 4 in those broad leaves. I think that just looks fabulous. It just looks fabulous in that that green color. It just perfect. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I just love seeing that color. The next person to share with us is Ingrid of Ingrids Inspirations. Now she's making a 4-color shawl, and she lives in South Africa, and she's using yarn from S. Teresa. You can see some of her clue 4 in here, and some close-ups on her clue 3 as well. We didn't have an update from Ingrid last time, so we're getting caught up with her a little bit, and all these amazing, beautiful pastel colors that she's using, and they all work so well together with the green and the pinks, and then there's a variegation of both of those. It's just looking really, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for sharing that with us. And it's just a really it's just a really elegant, feminine looking shawl. So pretty. The next person to share with us is a new person here. This is Jenny C. Jenny C is just starting with us. She decided to jump in and start with us, which is awesome. We're so glad that you're here with us. This is her clue 1. She's using Hobie Cotton Kings and the color Aqua Tint, and I can see she's using some lifelines here. Look at the stitch definition on this yarn. Looks really phenomenal, and just showing up really, really well. I love that we can use different fibers for this shawl. I've never knitted a shawl in cotton before, which is why I'm excited to knit the shawl I'm knitting in cotton, and I'm excited to see these cotton gradients being used. I mean, it's definitely a great fiber for the summer, to make a summer shawl, which is great. And this looks really, really beautiful. Thank you, Jenny, so much for joining us. We're glad to have you here, and your knitting is just looking just stunning. The next person to share with us is Joyce Swensson. This is Joyce's clue 4. You can see that she finished it up with that. We saw part of this in my last update. This is the finished clue 4. Those broad leaves with the garter stitch around it, and that green that she's using. Just really, really beautiful. So pretty the way that all those colors work together. It's kind of delicate and feminine, and just they softly go into each other, and the design builds upon itself. So it's really, really pretty. And thank you so much, Joyce, for sharing that with us. I'm excited to see your finished shawl. Can't wait to see what color you put on the end there and to finish it up. It's just really beautiful. The next person to share with us is Kathleen F. Now, this is Kathleen's first time to share with us as well. Kathleen is using a Yarn B Soft and Sleek DK low fill fiber yarn in the color Pink Lemonade. And isn't this just the palest pink? It is so pretty. This is her clue 1. So this is a 1-color shawl. It's so feminine and delicate, and just dainty, and just simply beautiful and pretty, and pretty in pink shawl. And thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I'm just excited that you're here and knitting this along with us. It's really, really nice. The next person to share with us is Katie Bear. Now, this is her clue 4. We've been seeing these updates, and this is her clue 4. She brought that color 2 back in, and those broad leaves in that gray, the stitch definition. It's just all working together, just so pretty and so elegant and well done, and just looking great. I'm excited to see your shawl finished up, see which color you'll pick for that, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. It looks just amazing. I know right now a lot of people are not really in the same thing with me. You know, there's so many stitches, it's hard to spread it out. So it's going to be really fun to see some of these spread out too, because we're all kind of squinched up on our needles right now. We can see it, but it's going to be glorious to see it all stretched out and spread out, and to see every little detail that we've been maybe missing some of it because it's been a little scrunched up. It looks really great, Katia. Thank you so much for sharing with us and being here knitting with us. The next person to share with us is Margaret Hanley. Now, Margaret this is her first share with us, and Margaret shared with me that she is a brand new knitter. What I love about Margaret is she is so fearless, and I love that she's just jumping in to knitting a shawl. It reminds me of kind of what I did. I was like, I want to knit that. I'm going to do it. Margaret has some beautiful yarns from Circus Tonic Handmade. And this is the Ann Palmer yarn set from Circus Tonic Handmade. You can see a pale pink, yellow, an orange, and then a pink. And this is kind of mirrored a little bit like the same colors that Helen used when she designed her shawl. She had a plum and a gold and a coral and a pink. So I think it'll be a similar type of a look and feel. And I'm excited to see how you're going to order these. Of course, her first color is the pink, so you can see her shawl start. And it's looking good. Keep on going. And I want to encourage you, just, being a new knitter, just take it row by row, stitch by stitch, line by line, and you'll turn around eventually and you'll be done. But take your time. And I think these patterns are definitely for a little advanced beginner, but take your time, and anybody can do these because they're so well written. And the fact that you have the stitch counts for every row, that's unheard of as well in a lot of knitting patterns and crochet patterns. So I think it's conducive to new knitters, and I'm excited that you're trying this and doing this with us. It's so nice to have you here, Margaret, and your shawl. It's going to be just fantastically. It's so pretty. I love all the colors you picked. It's going to be so pretty. Can't wait to see more of it. All right, the next person to share with us is Mary Haen. Mary is sharing 2 clues today. She's been busy knitting. Now, Mary is using a Hobie yarn. It's a Sultan King, a Cotton King's Sultan yarn, the Shadows. So it starts out with a bright color, and it's going to end with a black on the edge. It's one of their interesting lines. They have all the different shades. They have pinks and reds and purples, and she's using a yellow. And this is so pretty. I love that we're now starting to see the color changes in your gradient. Whereas we were just bright yellow for a while. Now we're getting to a darker yellow. And for her next clue, the clue 3, we're starting to see those blacks start to come in. So that's really great. It's blending with the yellow, and it's just a nice gradient effect with these yarns. So it's so pretty. So thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to see this finish up. The next person to share with us is Melanie Titus. Melanie originally started out doing 2 shawls. She had 2 different gradient sets. One was a Dream Rose gradient, and the other one's a Hobie Twister gradient. She made a decision, she's going to stick with the Hobie Twister gradient. She said that's a little less splitty for her. This is Hobie Twister gradient in color 18, and she says it's more of a pale green, that the true color is a little hard to photograph, but this is her shawl through row 54. And isn't that looking so pretty? I love the pale green, and I think it's going to go very well with the design. I'm trying to remember the other colors in the gradient. I think it's going to be really, really nice, and I'm excited to see it. And you're doing a great job, and just keep on going. It's looking beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. This next shawl is mine. This is my gradient in a still picture. You can kind of see the stitches a little bit better than me holding them up in front of a camera. And this is my clue 1. Now this is my 4-color shawl all laid out on the grass. You can kind of see it kind of a little bit better than me holding it up in front of the camera. That was my clue, bringing back in my color 2. Alright, now the next person to share with us is Perry Walden. Perry has some beautiful colors. She's doing a 4-color shawl it's got pinks, greens, grays, and blues. And some of these are Malabrigo sock yarns, and they just look so beautiful together. The colors I can see a lot better in this picture. You got the purple and the light gray, you got the purple and the light green, and then you've got a gray, and then you've got this gorgeous pop of pink. Look at that. So I see clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, and clue 4. And I love how the clue 4 ended with that light green to bring out those broad leaves. This looks really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for sending that in. The next person to share with us is Sandra Croley. Sandra is, look at her shawl. This is her through her clue 4. Now Sandra is using a Holst Garn super soft yarn, 4 colors, in plum, gold, orange, and coral, kind of based on the colors that Helen designed this shawl for, and it just looks amazing. Holst Garn yarn is really beautiful. Looks great, and I love these colors together. I can see why Helen picked these. It looks very spring-like, and it's really, really fantastic and magnificent. They look so good together. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sandra. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing the finished version of this. Looks really nice. The next person to share with us is Tammy Sabo. Now Tammy had been sharing with us a shawl. She was using some Leo Roxy Basics stock yarn, but she shared with me that she was not feeling the yarn she used, so she ripped all that out. And now she started over. She's a very fast knitter, but she's using a new yarn. This is Patton's Lace yarn in the color Fireside, and this is the yarn is doing all of the color changes for this shawl. You can see it's got a brown and an orange and a yellow in there, all the colors of a fire, and just really, really beautiful. And this is through clue 3. She's already gotten back up to clue 3, and it's looking amazing. I love this. I really do love this. It looks really, really nice, and I love that that Patton's Lace yarn. It's really got a mohair, a little bit of mohair in there. So I'm sure it's really soft and fuzzy and warm. The next person to share with us is Wendy Cutler. Now Wendy is a test knitter for Helen Stewart, and she did 2 different shawls. Now she did a 4-color version, but it's really more like a 7-color version because she's got different greens, different pinks in there. And here's her clue 4. Isn't that beautiful? That little bit darker pink coming into play for those leaves. And then here's her clue 4 for her single color shawl that she's doing. I love how the design can really just shine in this yarn as well. It's really, really pretty. Both of these are. So thank you for sharing that with us, Wendy, and for being here and participating with us and sharing your amazing shawls with us. They both are just equally stunners. They're both really, really pretty and elegant, and I'm excited that you're here. So thank you for sharing that with us. That's all of the project updates I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for being so wonderfully kind to everybody who is sharing their projects here. I love reading all the comments about this shawl is your favorite or this shawl is your favorite and why, and all the nice comments mean the world to people. So it's really kind of you to do that, and I appreciate you guys for being so sweet and supportive of everybody who is knitting this along with me and sharing their work, because it takes some courage to do that. You know, you may not have never ever shared your work. So thank you guys for being so kind and supportive of everybody here that is doing this mystery shawl knit along with me. Alright, so today for my hidden giveaway, I have 2 skeins of this yarn. This is the last I have of this yarn. This is Lion Brand Comfy Cotton. This is a DK weight. It's a weight 3. There's 2 skeins. Each skein has 358 meters, which is 392 yards. You can see what the colors are. I don't like to take stuff out of the plastic, especially when I know I'm giving it away. But it's got beige and browns and reds and grays, creams. So there's 2 of these, almost 400 yards, almost 800 yards of cotton yarn. This is, let's see, is it cotton blend? It's 50% cotton, 50% polyester. So I'm sure it's really, really soft. It feels nice and squishy in the package. And you get both of these skeins. And the word that you need to put down in the comment below is FIRE, F-I-R-E, FIRE. And I will use the YouTube random comment picker, pick a winner from the comments. Probably, I'll put the date down in the comments below, and maybe over my face if I can get that organized, but it definitely will be down in the comments below. Again, rules do apply for giveaways. Please read the rules. That will also be down in the description box below, and I'll pick a winner on the date that I say I will, and we'll go from there. And thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I know that these updates are longer because I'm sharing, and then I have, you know, several people sharing today. We had 19 people share. I believe it was 19 people share today. Yeah, we had 19 people share today. So these can be a little bit longer. But thank you for spending time with me, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Please forgive me, my energy's a little bit, I was not feeling great yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit better today, and my voice is coming back, but I'm not feeling 100% today, so I'm sorry I'm not super bouncing off the walls, but I am trying. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have when this posts, I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. This will post on Saturday. Please take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Stay cool. Stay hydrated, and I will see you all soon. All right. Bye-bye.